The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and wild grass as the sun began its slow descent behind the rolling plains. A warm, golden glow bathed the open landscape, where a herd of American bison moved in slow, deliberate steps. Among them, one bison stood apart. Her heavy body swayed as she trudged forward, her dark eyes filled with exhaustion. She was pregnant, days, maybe only hours away from giving birth. But she was also carrying something far more sinister. Beneath her thick, matted fur, something stirred. Tiny, unseen invaders clung to her skin, multiplying in numbers too vast to comprehend. Millions of parasites, ticks, mites, and unseen microscopic creatures feasted on her blood, their tiny legs crawling, burrowing, thriving in the warmth of her body. With every movement, she felt the weight of them, an unrelenting itch beneath her hide, an exhaustion deeper than mere pregnancy. But there was no escape. Out here in the wild, survival meant enduring the unforgiving forces of nature, both the seen and the unseen. Her breathing was labored as she pushed forward, seeking a quiet spot away from the rest of the herd. The others barely noticed her struggle. To them, she was just another part of the vast cycle of life. If she was weak, if she didn't make it, nature would move on without a second thought. Lightning flickered in the distance, and a low rumble rolled across the sky. A storm was coming. The bison stumbled slightly, her legs trembling under her own weight. Her body was fighting a battle on multiple fronts, against the parasites draining her strength, against the pain of impending labor, against the merciless reality of the wild. Her breath hitched, a sharp pain coursed through her belly. It was time. But as she lowered herself onto the soft earth, something shifted in the grass behind her. A shadow moved. She wasn't alone. Someone, was watching. And in the moments before she gave life to her calf, the battle for survival was far from over. The storm clouds crawled across the sky, swallowing the last of the evening light. The pregnant bison let out a slow, heavy breath, her sides quivering as another wave of pain gripped her. The ground beneath her was damp and cool, a brief relief against the feverish heat of her body. Her ears twitched at every distant rustle, but her strength was fading too fast to focus on anything beyond the life inside her, pushing, straining, desperate to enter the world. She had been strong once. Her thick hide had carried her through harsh winters, brutal droughts, and the relentless hunger of predators lurking at the edges of her herd. But this pregnancy had drained her, and the parasites, countless, clinging, feeding, had turned her body into a battlefield. Every drop of blood they stole made her weaker. Every movement felt heavier. The wind picked up, bending the tall grass in waves that shimmered under the darkening sky. The distant crack of thunder sent a ripple through the herd, a signal of danger, but they had no reason to fear. They were together, strong in numbers, able to defend themselves if needed. But she was alone, vulnerable, searching for an opening. The mother held her ground, muscles taut, ready to charge if needed. The wind carried their scents through the air, and in the distance, another shadow moved. Not another wolf. Something bigger. A deep, guttural snort cut through the storm. Then another. The herd had returned. The wolf hesitated, its ears flicking as it caught the sound of hooves pounding against the earth. The mother bison had not been abandoned. The others had sensed the birth, had heard her cries. They were coming. The eye. Wolf knew it had lost its chance. It lingered for only a moment, eyes flickering between the mother and her calf before turning away. It vanished into the night, slipping back into the darkness from where it came. The mother bison exhaled, her body sagging, but she did not fall. She turned to her calf, nuzzling him gently, urging him to stand. The storm would pass. The danger would return. But for now, they had survived. The herd arrived, their massive bodies forming a protective circle around mother and child. They did not celebrate. They did not pause. They simply stood, as they always had, as they always would, together. That psych, Newborn calf wobbled, his legs shaking beneath him, but with one final push, he stood, weak, unsteady, but alive. The mother lowered her head, pressing her nose against his soft fur. Despite everything, the parasites, the exhaustion, the wolf, she had done it. She had brought life into the world. And as the first light of dawn